Wow, I am so excited for you. Genuinely so excited. You know why? Because your life is about to change drastically. More than I think you ever could imagine. More than I ever think you could fathom. You want to know why? Because your reality is going to look a lot different than what it looks like right now. However, you know what that's going to require is going to require for you to plant some seeds right now. Now is the season to plant your seeds. You've been waiting a little bit too long to plant those seeds that you've needed to plant, the ones that are going to change your life for the better, the ones that don't involve you being fearful, the ones that don't involve you doubting yourself. Because that little voice in your head, let me tell you one thing, that little voice in your head, that's not you. That little voice in your head is all the doubt, all the fears of others that have been projected onto you and that have become a part of your own personalized identity. The one part of you that you identify with yourself, the fearful part of yourself, the doubtful part of yourself. But when I say yourself, is it really you? I don't think it is. I know it's not really you. You know, I know it's not really you because the deep soul version of yourself, the light version, the spiritual version of you, has no fear, has no doubts, has no worries. It only just is. It only is something that has faith, unwavering, undoubting faith. That's who you truly are on a core level. And it's sad to say that you've developed all of these personas that have made you into this version of you now that has stifled you from reaching the point of your own success. That little voice in your head that tries to tell you that you're not good enough. That little voice in your head that tries to tell you that you are unworthy or that you can't accomplish something is not you. It's far from you. It was never you. Because the inner you, the true God version essence of you, loves you, believes in you, has no worries, no fear. I truly believe in that. Absolutely believe in that. Because I know that once you start planting these seeds, come time of this year, actually, for a lot of you guys, around the spring equinox, you will start seeing a lot of these seeds germinate. And of course, we're speaking in analogy forms, right? Because you are the seed. Wow. You know, I had a vision when I was meditating this morning. I envisioned the tree of life wrapping around the earth and the actual tree roots formulating and being the foundation of what earth is. And its roots were seedlings, and you know who those seedlings were? They were us. Each and every one of us is a seedling. That's why sometimes you even hear star seed. Wow. Because we are star beings. We are star beings that crash landed here on earth. So that's what we are. We are the seeds. And when I say plant the seed, I mean plant yourself. Plant yourself in the foundation of who you truly are. And some people even ask me because they still don't know who they are. But I'm telling you, it's time to find that. Maybe this is the journey in which you start finding who you truly are and start shedding away those layers of who you never were. Because you never were the person who used to doubt yourself. You never were the person who stopped yourself from doing something that you love. You know how you start to ground yourself in the foundation and you learn who you really are. You start diving deeper into what creates a passion for you. What was it that you left behind as a kid that you used to love to do? Was something that you were deeply passionate about? What was it about those times that made things so lighthearted, so free, so loving? You know what it made it? It made it that you were actually being in your true authenticity. That's what it was like when you were in your youthfulness. Youthfulness is not an age, it's a feeling, it's a state of being. So why aren't you there anymore? You're not there anymore because you're not tapped in with your soul. You only live in a physical state of mind now. You no longer live in a spiritual state of mind because you know what kids are? They're spiritual beings who have no fear, who have no doubts, who have no worries, who show who they truly are because they haven't been impacted by the world yet. Do you remember that time when you used to be like that? When you used to be someone who wasn't so affected about the things that were going on around them, that you weren't so impacted by what other people had said about you? You didn't care so much about the physical state of being that you lived inside because you know this body is just a vessel. It was never meant to be a state of torment or a house of torment or a place where you weren't comfortable in staying inside. There was no insecurities back then. Your soul was able to just live inside this home and be and fully flourish and thrive and be everything that it came here to be. You know that, right? It's so interesting. So that when we become adults, we lose touch with that version of ourselves. But you know what's interesting? When a lot of people have kids, that version of them comes back up. They find themselves being more playful, more loving, more artistic, more creative because they're tapping back into that energy. You know, that's why I feel like a lot of people do get attached to their kids, because when they have their kids, it brings them back to who the truest version of themselves actually is. It brings them back to their true state of authenticity. So that's why it hurts for some parents to let go of their kids, because when they let go of their kids, they're letting go of their youthfulness once again. So even if you don't have kids, and even if this is not the situation where you can understand this analogy, just know that you are a spiritual being living a human experience. You were always meant to keep your youthfulness. Unfortunately, this world has allowed us to be in a state of work, 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 go, go, go. But we didn't come here to do that. We came here to play, to enjoy life. And I'm telling you right now is the time for you to be grounded. It's the time for you to get back into your youthfulness. It's the time for you to get back into your creativeness, because all of your creative energy is your godly energy. We came here to be creators on earth. Let me say that again. We came here to be creators on earth. We didn't come here to be anything less or anything more. We came here to be creators on the earth. Trust me, I understand how hard it is to strip back these identities, to strip back these layers, but let me tell you something. All those identities have ever done was hurt you and harm you more than help you. And when I say identities, that can be directly related to something that we call the ego. You see, when they call it the ego death, it's the identity death. It happens more than once. I don't know if you ever heard of something called the dark night of the soul. You know, what's interesting is that people always talk about the light, you know, love and light. But what about the darkness? I feel like reality and society and the government maybe even has told us much about life in reverse. Now, I believe that in the darkness that you can find the light, because in the darkness there is beauty, there is life in the darkness. I believe there is beauty in the darkness. And that is where you will truly find your power. And when I say the darkness, you can even think of the shadows. What have you hidden underneath the surface that you haven't tapped into in a while? That's what you need to come in contact with. That's what you need to touch, because that's what the dark night of the soul is. You realizing that you've been living a lie your entire life. So right now, What we need you to do, what the creator, the divine creator needs you to do as a human God form creator, right? What you are tasked to do is to finding yourself again. It's to finding who you are, because I need you to understand that. I need you to find that. 333. I need you to find that. I need you to find that inner soul. You're not lost. You know exactly who you are, and I'm just here to draw that out of you and to remind you of that. Everything that I tell you, I'm not educating you, because that's what education actually is. Regardless, education means to bring out, edukare, to draw out, to bring out the knowledge. Education was never meant for you to put stuff into you. It was always meant for you to draw the stuff out of you. So right now, in this time, it's almost February. You need to go inward and look inside and find what you've been hiding inside the shadows and bring it to the light and rebirth the things that you've killed off in the past, because that is what is going to ignite the flame for you to plant the seed. And the seed is you. To plant your seed, to plant your foundation here on earth, you need to be a planted seed. And when you are in that planted seed phase, this will allow you to germinate and sprout out and grow into the realest and truest version of yourself, because that's all we can be, is authentic. Authenticity is what will bring us to be the best version of ourselves that we possibly can be. Nothing more, nothing less. Remember that. So we give praises to the ancestors, and we give praises to the Most High Creator. Ashe and amen. May you go on and you continue to ground and sprout yourself through the seasons to come.